Hey, what's up everybody? It's Gwen and welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new, welcome to my channel. Today I will be sharing 5 tips for preventing moisture overload for high porosity hair. If you enjoy this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Also be sure to turn on all your notifications, hit the join button beneath this video and become a YouTube member, become a SoNaturalista, and also be sure to check out the description box for my natural hair coaching program, my natural hair store, SoNaturally Shop, as well as links to all the products that I mentioned in this video. All right, let's get started. High porosity hair is hair whose hair cuticles are naturally in the raised position. This helps for high porosity hair to accept moisture very easily. Therefore, moisture overload is very common for high porosity hair. This is a problem because it throws off the protein moisture balance in your hair, which prevents you from having soft moisturized hair that is also strong and less prone to breakage. So what is moisture overload? So moisture overload is when you have too much moisture in your hair. If you can believe it, too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. So I have personally experienced moisture overload in the past, and I'll put a picture of it on the screen. Yeah, at the time I didn't really understand what was going on with my hair. This happened around 2019, 2020, because I had experienced protein overload in the past for my natural hair journey. And so I was avoiding protein and I was really trying to amp up my moisture routine, I guess. And so, yeah, things kind of went haywire and I was having a lot of moisture overload. And let's talk about the process of moisture overload. So how do you know if you have moisture overload? So you can tell your hair is in moisture overload when your hair feels very limp, it doesn't hold a curl very well, and it's not very bouncy. Your hair can also feel weighed down, dull, and frizzy. Your hair also sticks together very easily due to your hair cuticles being raised in this highly moisturized state. Remember, high porosity hair has raised cuticles naturally, and also moisture raises your hair cuticles naturally as well. And this makes your hair prone to detangle, and due to the lack of protein in your hair, when the tangles happen, your hair is more prone to breakage. So now that we understand what high porosity hair is, why it is prone to moisture overload, as well as what moisture overload is and how you can tell if you have moisture overload, let's get into the tips on how to avoid it. So tip number 1 is protein treatments. So I recommend doing protein treatments once a month, and alongside my protein treatments, I've started to do moisture treatments as well afterwards to make sure that my hair is protein moisture balanced. Yeah, so definitely the combination of protein with moisture is important, especially because moisture is important, but the protein definitely helps to lock it in. Yeah, I think I mentioned this concept in my recent video where I talk about how to detangle high porosity hair, how protein fills in the spaces between your hair cuticles to help to smooth out the surface of your hair, but also that locks in the moisture, as opposed to with high porosity hair, moisture enters and leaves the hair very easily and dries out. So having the protein on board will help to lock in the moisture, but also will prevent moisture overload because too much moisture isn't getting into your hair. So the current protein treatment that I'm using is the Shea Moisture Raw Shea Butter Deep Treatment Mask with sea kelp and argan oil. So this is the one that I'm currently using, and yeah, girl, once I use this, I haven't used this in years. First of all, I used this back when I started my natural hair journey. This was my go-to when Shea Moisture was the only brand that I knew of. But yeah, I started using this again and my curls just bounce right back up. It's so nice. And then for a moisture treatment right afterwards, I use the Mielle Moisture RX Hawaiian Ginger Moisturizing Overnight Conditioner. So this is the current moisture treatment that I'm using, and I really like this. I leave this one on. This only needs to be left on for 5 minutes, but I like to leave my masks on for at least 10 minutes. And then this is an overnight conditioner, but I do not recommend that, especially for moisture overload. Do not recommend that. I only leave mine on for a maximum of 20 minutes. So I think I leave this on for 15 minutes. I don't think I did the full 20. I think I just do 15 minutes, and you definitely feel the effects. My hair feels super soft, and I love how the combination of this just helps my curls feel nice and plump, but also very bouncy. Tip number 2 is to use protein moisture balance products. The way you do this is you either use a product or a combination of products that contain both moisturizing and strengthening ingredients. So for moisture, you want to look for humectants. I'll put some on the screen. So those are what you want to look for if you want a moisturizing product. And then for a strengthening product, look for something that contains protein or any one of these strengthening ingredients. So for my curly hair, I like to use this combination when I'm moisturizing my hair. So I like to use the Mielle Pomegranate and Honey Leave-In Conditioner. And then I like to use the Curl Theory Multi-Style Cream. That is now sold out and discontinued. So in place of it, I like to use the Aunt Jackie's Buttercream Intensive Moisture Sealant. So this is the closest replacement that I was able to find for this one. It's not the same, but this is, like I said, the best alternative. So I use oils on top of this, but for the main products that I use, these are the combination that I like. And the Mielle leave-in conditioner has honey glycerin, and I think that's, and sugar maple extract. So those are the moisturizing ingredients that are in here. And then this contains biotin, which is a medium-sized protein, so this is strengthening, so I love this combination together. This one has silk amino acids in it, also has ginger root extract, and looks like it has some like bark extracts in here, so maybe like some plant-based proteins in here. So yes, that is what is in here, and definitely more strengthening as opposed to the Curl Theory cream, but this is the combination that I like to use for my curly hair that is protein moisture balanced. And then also for my curly hair, to re-moisturize it, I like to use the Mielle Pomegranate and Honey Curl Refreshing Spray. So this has honey in it as well as glycerin, and then it also has silk amino acids in it, so a little bit of protein to kind of help counteract the moisture that's in here, and that's probably why it recommends it if you want to prevent frizz, because this is anti-frizz. And then to seal it, I like to use my SoNaturally Scalp Oil, and you can purchase this from my natural hair store, linked in the description box. And then for my straight natural girls, I definitely have some tips for you guys as well. So for my straight hair, I like to use, again, my SoNaturally Scalp Oil from my natural hair store. And then I also have been liking to use the ORS Olive Oil Alcohol-Free Nourishing Sheen Spray. So this has aloe vera in it, and it also has nettle leaf extract in it. So nettle leaf is a plant-based protein, and it's pretty big, so that does provide a lot of bounce to my hair, and it also provides shine. So I like to use that kind of day to day. And then I will also alternate with using my Mielle Rosemary Mint Scalp and Hair Strengthening Oil with biotin for extra growth. This has aloe and glycerin in it as the moisturizing ingredient, and then it has biotin as the strengthening ingredient. So I like to use this as well because I find that it gives my hair nice shine but also moisture. So I know some people say that oils don't moisturize your hair, and I have personally said that too, but if you look at the ingredients of oils that are manufactured, not just natural oils, they will usually have like different options of ingredients. So I recommend taking a look at your ingredients and making sure that they are protein moisture balanced, or at least create a combination of your own that has protein and moisture on board. Tip number 3 is to not apply too much product to your hair. I am probably someone who should not be talking about this because I do apply a lot of product to my hair, but sometimes, especially when re-moisturizing your hair or when moisturizing your hair in general, like the first time after wash day, you can have a product that is too moisturizing and can leave your hair frizzy and prone to moisture overload. So this is especially true, like I said, when you are re-moisturizing your hair really often, which is something that is common with naturals that have high porosity hair, since our hair doesn't hold on to moisture very easily and dries out very quickly. Moisturizing and re-moisturizing is very important for high porosity hair. So to combat this, I recommend applying less product, so maybe diluting it with some water. You can also incorporate some protein to balance out this product that is causing too much frizz, or you can just not use the product altogether and realize that you might just need to use something else. Tip number 4 is to properly cleanse your scalp. So this will help to avoid product buildup as well as moisture overload. When my hair is curly, I co-wash my hair once a week, and then I shampoo once a month. So some people strictly co-wash, but I do recommend incorporating shampooing, especially because, like I said, if you have high porosity hair, you're probably reapplying a lot of products, and that can add up over time. So it's important to properly clean your scalp so that you can not have too much product on board and to avoid moisture overload. And then while my hair is straight, I strictly shampoo my hair once a month because it lasts longer between wash days. The current shampoo that I'm using is the Briogeo Superfoods Mango and Cherry Balancing Shampoo. And I'm able to use this on my curly hair as well as my straight natural hair. And then tip number 5 is to know your hair. This might sound like an easy thing to just say, given the fact that I have been natural for almost 8 years now. But what I will say is that getting to know your hair and recognizing that you're approaching moisture overload or in moisture overload will help to However, you start to be able to move towards protein moisture balance and know that you have to adjust some things. So one way to detect that your hair is in moisture overload is the wet strand test. So this is more of a, in my opinion, I think this is like a good like start. So if you really don't understand how your hair feels in moisture overload, you can use this. So what you do is you run a shed hair under the water stream and you see how strong it is and how bouncy it is. If your strand stretches really well but doesn't have much strength to it and breaks really easily, then you will know that you have a little too much moisture on board. You could either be in moisture overload or be on your way to moisture overload. So you should incorporate more protein. And then if you are stretching your hair, it's not stretching that much, it feels kind of stiff, it can break as well. You're probably in like protein overload or just have too much protein on board. You want it somewhere in the middle where it stretches, but it's not too much, like you can still feel that it's not going to break, but it can stretch. And so I have shown this in one of my protein moisture balance videos, which I will link on your screen as well as in the description box. But I personally recommend just realizing your hair and how it is in moisture overload without having to do the wet strand test. One, because the wet strand test is only when your hair is wet. A lot of time you will just realize your hair and feel it day to day, and you have to be able to recognize the difference. So I recommend recognizing moisture overload based on the feel of your hair's appearance, as well as its behavior. All right, that's the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed finding out my 5 tips for preventing moisture overload for high porosity hair. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Also, be sure to turn on all your notifications, hit the join button beneath this video and become a YouTube member, become a SoNaturalista, as well as check out the description box for my natural hair coaching program, my natural hair store, SoNaturally Shop, as well as links to all the products that I mentioned in this video. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.